You accomplished something that you were the first person, not woman, person of South Asian descent to host a late night talk show. And that was A Little Late with Lilly Singh on NBC.
Yep.
That is fucking huge. I remember when it happened. I don't think we knew each other yet, but I was like a fan from afar and I was like, let's go. What was, and I know this is a big question, but like, how was the experience? It was complex, I imagine. Like
very, very complex. Honestly, probably one of the biggest things to happen in my entire life thus far. The best way I can summarize it is the experience of a lifetime in terms of the most exciting thing, the most amount of pressure I've ever felt, the most exhausting thing, the most humbling thing. I'm so grateful for the experience, but it also was extremely terrifying.
Yeah.
And has fundamentally changed me as a person and how I view work and how I view my life and how I view myself and what I'm willing to accept and tolerate. It's just honestly...
And what you're not.
Right. It was such a pivotal moment in my life for so many reasons. And I honestly am more grateful than anything else because of that.
Yes.
So, you know, when they came to me saying, you know, we have this slot at 1:30, we want you to be the late night host. I gotta be honest, I, growing up, did not watch late night. It never played in my house. My parents have never seen an episode of Late Night. I don't think they've ever watched an episode of Fallon or Seth or anyone.
Yeah.
That's because they probably couldn't really resonate with it. They grew up in a different place and they probably were like, we don't get it. And so when they approached me, I was like, I got into this industry not because I wanted to be a late night host. Like, I know some people dream of having, I didn't have that dream. So I was like, oh, I don't really know about this. So I said no.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
And a month later, they came back again. And they were like, we really just want to talk to you. We really think. And I was like, hold up. I'm a big believer of the universe, like working its magic. And so I was like, let me think about this. And my team illustrated to me the significance of it. Because I don't think I realized, especially growing up in Canada and like just not understanding what this late night machine was. And they were like, listen, this is like a cultural staple. You would be a historic host.
Yes.
You would help pave this path. And I was like, okay, you're saying all the right words.
Exactly. I was going to say, hitting you at your core.
It was a tough crossroads to be at because I was like, I know this is not a dream of mine.
Yeah.
But I feel responsible because if I say no to this again, it could just be another person that looks like everybody else.
Exactly.
Again. So I felt a lot of pressure to say yes.
Yes.
I said yes. And like we discussed, I put 1,000% into everything. And that was the first time in my life coming from YouTube at that time. Because in YouTube, I'm the legal team. I'm the writer. I make every decision on YouTube, right?
You bet.
And I'm really successful at this point. And so I'm like, I know what's up. So the reason it was so difficult was the first time in my life that my instincts knew what was right, and I could not execute always my instinct.
Yes, you do not have 100% creative control.
Correct.
And because your gut and your instinct have brought you not just such enormous success, but also even when you're finding, I have to recalibrate a little, I have to pivot, you can then do that.
Right.
And you're finding yourself not able.
It was a tough situation to be in because, you know, coming from YouTube, and I say this very humbly, but also, I guess, to flex, 3 billion views on YouTube.
Yeah, like no big deal.
So
Jesus.
I feel like I'm coming to this space being like, I know what people want to see.
Yep.
I know what my audience expects from me. I know what's funny. I know what my voice is.
Yeah.
It was such a jarring experience to not only not have creative control, that's one thing, but to be put up against so many obstacles that just made the simple act of creation difficult.
Yes.
You know, I'm coming from YouTube, which is like, oh, this is funny. I'm going to shoot this. I'm going to edit this. We're going to release this. Done. And then you go into a situation where it's like, hey, we're going to give you a fraction of the budget than any other show. We're going to give you half of the writer's room.
Yep.
Here's a whole bunch of regulations. Here's a whole bunch of jokes you cannot make. We want you to maintain Jimmy and Seth's audience, but also bring your fresh voice to it. Here are a bunch of brands you can't make fun of because there are sponsors. Mm-hmm. Here's the time restraints of how you have to do the jokes because we need our commercial breaks to be here, 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 and here. It's like, there's so many obstacles.
Beyond.
And I remember being like, this industry, we've got something wrong here.
I still feel that.
I still feel that. It's the industry.
Yes.
We're supposed to be having the most amount of fun.
Yeah.
We should be the most liberated. We have lost the plot so hard.
It's so true. And I think because you are really at that point, like, I have the storm of, it's one of the words you just used, I'll use, like the regulations. Mm-hmm. Like there is a way that they do late night, whatever channel, whatever network, whatever. that, yeah, they don't care that you have all that experience. And like, guys, trust me, I know. They're like, cool, sit down. We'll tell you. Because this is how we've been doing it for decades.
So I think they're in those situations, the industry is their own biggest enemy because they want fresh voices and they want, they completely figured something out, but they don't want the fresh voice to be fresh. They want to take the fresh voice and then turn to something else. And I will tell you, like the second season of the show, I was able to make it a little more my own.
Yeah.
But the issue is people had already made up their mind from the first season.
Yeah. Totally.
They're like, oh, you get one shot. You get one season. And both seasons of my late night show released in the pandemic. So the first season of the show, because of how we shot it, 96 episodes in 3 months, it was... Yep.
I mean, I do know this because you've told me this, but I just am going to have the sincere reaction again of what?
I know. 96 episodes in 3 months and half of those episodes released. So, this historic late night show happens and I'm like, great. What could possibly go wrong? Global pandemic. And so my late night show is the only late night show airing during the pandemic that has a live audience where I'm talking about traveling, where I'm talking about parties. And everyone's like... the one thing that's important about late night is it's got to be timely.
Right. Totally.
So now there's a global pandemic and I have a live audience and I'm hugging people and I'm doing all the things.
Unbelievable. And like you said, you have such gratitude for having had the experience.
Absolutely.
And you learn so much.
I learned
right?
And I do have gratitude because I learned so many skills.
Yeah.
I can deal with any schedule.
You bet.
I met amazing people.
It's the resilience that like Matt and I try to, and I think all parents try to imbue in their kids, like there's going to be hard times and then you can call back upon the hard times you had. Right. Mm-hmm. So like you thought you'd been tired before.
Yeah.
Right. Like I can't even imagine, because also the stress, I feel like this comes up on almost every podcast now, what the pandemic did to us. So like even just the little kernel of you are dropped in such a deep end there. And then, what could happen?
Right. Exactly.
Life and death and, are just, we are different people from that experience.
Totally. Absolutely.
So to be doing that, I mean, good on you. Yeah. It's incredible.
Also just taught me, after that experience was done, I was like, okay, here's what I value now. Here's what I prioritize now. Me having fun and joy does matter.
Yep.
If I could do it again, I would ask way different questions.
Yes.
I would, I'm just better prepped for everything else I do. And I have to say everything I've done since then, and I don't want to paint it out to be a terrible experience. I had a lot of joy in that experience as well.
Totally.
But everything I've done since then, I've experienced so much joy in.
That's
because I ask better questions. I view things through a different lens.
Yes, exactly. And that's the lens that I always try to sort of just reinforce this for the younger women listening or watching. I still am like, why? I know, beloved YouTube, but I'm like, why are we on video? But, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right.
You're going to do it right. That's right.
But for the younger people, I'll say out there, it's all a journey. It's all a learning experience. And you couldn't have gotten to the place you are right now, which we will get to, without having had that experience also. Because I'm going to jump now. The last thing I want to say about that actually is you were so good at it. And that is like, that's really fucking hard to do.
Thank you.
Period. End of story.
If I was to reflect back, I do feel like one of the things that is unsettling to me is I do believe I could be really good at that. I don't even think we got to see the best version of what it could be.
Yeah, I get that.
Because it was just, there's too many obstacles.
The environment was not friendly to that. But totally.